have some sugar on today. So, like I said, no shocker here. Well, no, let me stop faking. Hold on, skirt. Let me put my braids. A bit of a shocker. Monday's news. Tucker Carlson out at Fox News. I said, look at karma. Look at karma. But is it really karma when this nigga was making 15 to $20 million a year? Is it really karma? Is it really karma? When Tucker Carlson has probably made $100 million plus from Fox News, and then one day he shows up and he's fired. Nigga, fire me with $100 million in the bank, please. Please, please. So Tucker's not exactly suffering out here, but we shall take some pleasure in his misfortune and I hope in some way humiliation. Because can you imagine having a top rated show and not even being given the professional courtesy that Fox was not fucking with you no more? And I guess Don Lemon experienced that a little bit later in the day at CNN, but we're gonna get into Donnie Lemon here in a second. But for those of you who may not be familiar, why I have such a distinct personal animus for Tucker Carlson, it's not because he's a Fox News host. It's not even because he's a white supremacist. That's kind of what I expect out of Fox. I don't have any expectations of them not being propagandists for white supremacy. Is that, but the real reason I don't fuck with Tucker Carlson is because Tucker Carlson put my name in his mouth. My name in his mouth, right? And the way that Tucker Carlson even came to mention me was just some fugazi nonsense. It was a masterclass in how specifically Black women and their comments, leftist radical commentary on America, on capitalism, on white supremacy, etc., how those comments can get amplified by the right wing cacophony of their echo chamber and just go from my clip from a show that I did after the murder of George Floyd, how a clip that I said that was put on our Twitter channel got picked up by what's the dude's name from Malaysia? Random nigga. Ian Chung. Some rando rando conservative, but he's got a big following. He put it on his shit. Then it got picked up by the post millennial. Then I think even Andy Go's bitch ass put the shit up on his shit. And next thing I know, I'm on fucking Tucker Carlson. I'm like, how did this happen? But let me take y'all down memory lane. When Tucker Carlson, again, had the audacity to put my name in his motherfucking mouth. Run that shit, Will, please. Thank you.
Here's a clip from a show called Burn It Down with Kim Brown. You can get it on iTunes. You can watch it on any number of social media platforms, none of which has even considered censoring it. As you watch, ask yourself, how much influence should someone like this have over the country where your family lives?
For the record, I support all that. I support them looting the damn Dollar Tree. I support the looting of what other did they loot? Like the advanced auto parts. I remember last year they looted Target. I support all that. Loot all that. Do you know why? Because Black people and marginalized and oppressed people could loot every store in this whole country for 200 years. It would not even come close to the debt that America owes us. Tear all that up. Tear it up. Because really, that's the language. That's the only language this country understands.
Tear it up, she says, burn it down. So how are people in charge responding to this? Well, we're pretty sure the FBI isn't at Kim Brown's house tonight. We're confident that 60 Minutes isn't planning some extensive hit piece on her. No, those are reserved for Florida governors. In America's many newsrooms, Kim Brown is not considered a threat to anyone. She's considered an ally. Who's the threat? It's people who didn't vote for Joe Biden. They must be hounded into submission by the American news media.
The audacity of hoes. The audacity of hoes. Now I'm mad all over again because this nigga tried to send the feds to my fucking house, guys. Did y'all hear that shit? I mean, preeminent snitching. And when I think about the audience, the nightly audience that Tucker Carlson's show drew in 3 million, 2 million. How many? Anyway, I can tell y'all how many motherfuckers sought me out after that. A lot. Everywhere. Instagram DMs, Twitter DMs, email, Facebook. Motherfuckers was finding me, dog, talking shit. Why? Because Tucker Carlson, like every good Klansman, is able to quickly assemble a mob of like-minded fuckboys and girls with their little tiki torches and send it after people like me, right? And again, to this day, I still find the shit so comical and so hilarious. I mean, not to say that I wanted Tucker Carlson to sick his troll army on somebody else per se, but it was just funny to me. I'm like, dog, do you know how many fucking people you had to jump over to look over to get to little old me? And we still little out here. And he put me on the Summer Jam screen when we was even smaller than what we is now. So, I mean, it was just typical fuck boy shit, right? You want to talk about somebody with a bully pulpit. Tucker Carlson knew exactly what he was doing. And you know what? He is very lucky that truly that violence did not ensue, because for people who were even following me at that time, I told y'all, and I meant that shit. I had the shotty at the ready, Slim. Okay. Like, I was getting death threats from these white supremacists left, front, and center. I was ready for some fucking nutball ass Tucker Klansman, dispersed Klansman to come to my fucking door. And if Tucker Carlson had have engendered some sort of violence against me, or what I sort of predicted potentially could have happened, would have ended up fomenting violence against one of his followers because I was ready for that action, would it have been a big deal? Would anybody have cared? Would anybody posted my bail? Because anyway, it was not a joke situation for me. I can laugh at it now because of the ridiculousness of it, but I'm also immediately brought back to how I felt in that moment. Because Tucker Carlson's kind of followers are the white folks you kind of don't want to ignore because of who they are, descended from. Like, these are the folks that came to our people's side of town and burnt down countless towns, black side of towns, burnt them to the ground, hung our ancestors from trees, lynched us, raped us, did all this shit. Those descendants are Tucker Carlson's current audience, and I could not take them people just for play. I had to take them a little bit seriously. But circling back, I'm sorry. Let me simmer down. Okay, circling back. So Tucker got the boot. Now, why did Tucker get the boot? People want to know. Inquiring minds want to know all over the place. And I think a very easy correlation can be drawn between the timing of Tucker Carlson's firing and the announcement of Fox News settling with Dominion voting systems for what, $780 million, about half of what Dominion was asking for in a settlement. But the settlement was reached the day that the jury was going to be seated and the trial was going to begin. And the fact that Fox settled, I think, had a lot to do with the fact that Rupert Murdoch, Tucker Carlson, all these other people were going to be called to testify. They were absolutely going to be called to testify. And Tucker Carlson was going to be forced to reveal his true feelings about the election scandal under oath. I guess assuming he told the truth. Who the fuck really knows? Truthiness is subjective to the likes of Tucker Carlson and Rupert Murdoch. But were they under oath and felt compelled to tell the truth, they would have had to say their real feelings, as has been already released in documents. I guess who released them shits? Dominion. The text messages allegedly between Tucker Carlson and some other Fox News staffers, where Carlson himself admitted to not believing or subscribing to the election denialism. In fact, making some offhanded comments about some of his bosses or other Fox News executives. So, and I'm also kind of curious how that was all able to come out. I'm assuming some of that was gleaned in discovery, and I'm not a lawyer, nor do I pretend to be one. So let me, be judicious here with my legal phrasing. But I'm saying, I'm assuming Tucker Carlson was tucking. I'm sure Tucker Carlson was texting from his personal phone. So I'm wondering how his personal text messages were obtained in a civil lawsuit Maybe this is too much for my brain to process. I don't even care. Fuck that nigga. At 15 to 20 million dollars annual salary from Fox News. The thing that always amazed me about Tucker Carlson, I know I'm a little all over the place, so y'all just follow me. Try to trail my thoughts as I can gauge them. Tucker Carlson went from, I know he worked at Heritage, but I thought he even had a gig. Maybe he was even doing C-SPAN before he got to MSNBC, where he used to pal it up with Rachel Maddow on air. Rachel be like, "It's my good friend Tucker Carlson." I'm like, "Yep, bitch, I bet you Tucker Carlson is your good friend." It says confirming exactly what I suspected. Tucker Carlson would chum it up with Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. Then he went on over to CNN, where he co-hosted Crossfire, being the world's oldest bow tie wearing dickhead. Did y'all know Tucker Carlson was 53 years old? I bet you he cannot even grow a single whisker of hair on his face. Not a one. If it's not his eyebrows, there's no hair growing on that prepubescent boy's face. I digress. Who's 53? I digress. And then from CNN's Crossfire, which was again a prominent political talk show, at which Tucker Carlson, I would imagine, actually had to have been pretty young doing that, in his 30s, since he's 53 now. And then he's been at Fox for a number of years, where he was batting cleanup behind the likes of Glenn Beck and Bill O'Reilly, etc. He was always sort of like the boy dickhead wonder waiting in the wings for his shot. And when O'Reilly ended up costing the company a lot of money, and then Glenn Beck costing the company a lot of money, Tucker got his shot. And he has been raining down white supremacist propaganda on the rest of us ever since, with his white replacement theory, his attacking of black women like myself. I'm gonna throw Joy-Ann Reid in there because I know Joy has been put on that Tucker Carlson summer jam scream a number of times. And let me say, I mean, y'all, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not something that I'm afraid of, but I can tell you, it's just not fun to experience harassment from a variety of different corners. It's pretty fucking wild. But anyway, so here's Tucker Carlson managing to fall his way up all throughout his media career. And then we get to this point where all of a sudden he is fired, unbeknownst to him, unbeknownst to his representation. And what is the issue? In part, it could have been that big settlement, because a lot of the anti-election denialism, whatever, and the so-called is it libel or slander? I guess it would be slander in the broadcast, the so-called slanderous statements made by Fox against Dominion. A lot of that shit was made on Tucker Carlson's show. Even some of it by Tucker himself. Excuse me. And if you could, Will, could you pop up that Hollywood Reporter piece for me? And at the end of the day, Fox is sort of a unicorn in a lot of ways, guys, because I didn't even fully realize this until I started looking into it. So hold on, I'm sorry, Will, put me back up real quick before because I said I'm a little all over the place. I'm trying to follow my thoughts, and I appreciate you guys being patient here. At $15 to $20 million a year, Tucker Carlson's estimated annual salary. When it comes to broadcasting, usually when you cost the company money, then usually you have to go. When advertisers start jumping ship because of comments that you've made, that's usually a fireable offense, right? I can't recall if I've been fired for that specific reason, but I know of firings that happen along those lines for whatever reason. If the talent says, "Oh, McDonald's gave me the shits," and then, then McDonald's heard the shit and is like, "Nah, we can't. We're gonna take back our $1 million buy," or whatever. Random things. So for the duration of Tucker Carlson's tenure at Fox News, for him to have cost the money that he had in advertising dollars because of a number of online campaigns, and I can't even recall all the advertisers because there's really been that many that have been pressured to withdraw their ad dollars from Fox and from Tucker Carlson's show in particular because of the incendiary, racist, transphobic, homophobic, just deplorable commentary that permeates all the content of his program. Like Tucker Carlson definitely cost the company money. Advertisers withdrew their dollars because of shit that he said, and yet he kept his job. Why did he keep his job? Because Tucker Carlson was a ratings juggernaut. 3 million nightly viewers is nothing to sneeze at, ladies and gentlemen. That is a mighty healthy audience, and it's a dedicated audience. It's a loyal audience. His audience in particular is an older audience, more tethered to the television, less so to their phones and rewatching his clips on YouTube. No, this is appointment television for racists of a certain age. You know what I mean? Like they don't miss Tucker Carlson. So even still, ratings be damned. You cost the company money. How are you still able to keep your job? Well, Fox, and now you can go to the article, Will. So Fox is a unicorn in the sense that their primary revenue source does not necessarily come from advertisers. It comes from the cable carriers themselves. And just this earlier this month, I believe it was on April the 1st. Let me pull this up here. Because Fox News has been in negotiations with the nation's largest cable carriers really for about the past 6 months. And this article here was published on the 1st of April, announcing that Fox News Corp, or Fox Corp rather, and Comcast Xfinity had come to terms. Now, Comcast Xfinity has 20 million pay TV customers and is among the largest, if not the largest, cable provider in the country. But it was sort of in doubt whether or not this deal was going to go through. And I actually think that Tucker Carlson's departure it won't ever be disclosed publicly. And by the way, the terms of this deal were not disclosed publicly because basically Fox derives its revenue from the money that cable customers pay providers like Comcast, Xfinity, and Verizon Fios and Charter and others. So in your cable package, anybody out there still got cable? I got cable. I definitely have cable. And it sucks that knowing that when I'm paying my provider, that a chunk of that money is going to fucking Fox News. And not an insignificant chunk, by the way. Fox commands a lot from these cable carriers in terms of the money that they receive directly from companies like Comcast and Verizon and the like. So that is how Fox is able to remain so profitable, even despite that they lose advertisers left and right because of the wild, often false, definitely racist, and all the other ists out there, that type of commentary. Like they don't lose money really. It's wild. And so that's how Tucker Carlson has been able to remain in position for as long as he has. But I'm wondering if even behind the scenes, as the terms of these negotiations between Corporation and these cable carriers, I wonder if they were like, listen, listen, if y'all are going to be broadcasting this kind of shit, the shit that could, I guess what the establishment is really afraid of, the shit that could topple our democracy, right? Those that are still holding on to the mythology of that America's a democracy, and who likely advertisers and companies and corporations, et cetera, but maybe specifically companies like Comcast saw the events of January 6th and they've seen what has happened after January 6th and believe, as well they should, because it's true, that outlets like Fox News helped to stoke the fire that even created a scenario like January 6th. And they are afraid that the rhetoric coming from the likes of Tucker Carlson, Fox News, and those related are actually harmful to the country, but harmful to their interests. And in what way, I'm not exactly sure. I guess if capitalism falls down, then that Comcast stock may not be trading at its current rate. However, I feel as though there was some external pressure though behind the scene pressure put on Fox Corporation. Because why now? Why now? They cost that is they Tucker Carlson and his cronies cost the company $750 million in a settlement, and I'm sure that did not go unnoticed. But I feel as though it could have been just that. It had to have been that plus something else. Because at the end of the day, I'm good on that, Will. At the end of the day, you are not going to be able to keep a good white supremacist propagandist, the likes of Tucker Carlson, down very long. Even though he did cost Fox News money in part, we can lay some of that blame of that judgment against in favor of Dominion at the feet of Tucker Carlson, but he's profitable to somebody, y'all. Somebody else is going to put Tucker Carlson on. And just look at his track record. Why should we believe that this is the end of Tucker Carlson? He went from MSNBC to CNN to Fox News. Now, some might argue, well, where else is there for him to go? Any fucking where, man. We in the age of the internet. This nigga could do his own shit. And he's sitting on a pile of money because white supremacy pays. Upholding the system of capitalism and extolling its virtues nightly to an audience of millions pays. There is value found in what Tucker Carlson does by the elites. Like he purports the message that keeps America, right? That keeps America racist, that keeps America homophobic, that keeps America beholden to capitalism and this nonsense ethos about our democracy and all this bullshit. Like Tucker Carlson helps to keep that value system in place. He helps to reinforce it, to reassure it even. You think he's going to be out of work long? No. Now, I don't know where he's going. He might even come to YouTube. Do you know how valuable I'm sure YouTube would find Tucker Carlson if you go to his show clips on Fox News? You know how many millions of views Tucker Carlson's clips get? Tucker Carlson's a valuable commodity to the system. And even though he did cost in settlement and other ways, cost Fox News, his value to the empire, I think, outweighs whatever little crumbs Fox had to pay out in the judgment. So please do not think that Tucker Carlson is out here done. I don't think he's out here done at all. But I am going to take a moment to, oh man, I wish I had a J roll and I forgot to bring one in here. But I am going to bask a little bit in the humiliation because I have experienced that. Like you show up to work. Hey, oh, Kim, so and so wants to see you in the office. Oh, okay. Hey, good morning. Come in there, green as shit. Good morning. You've been saying good morning to a motherfucker that's about to end your livelihood. Like, yeah, you should be in there. Good morning. Kim, we just wanted to just have a conversation. Yeah, I've been there, done that. But I assure you, I was not ever walking out of the door with the kind of golden parachute package I'm certain Tucker Carlson walked out of Fox News with. So at the end of the day, to conclude my commentary and my critique, fuck that bitch ass motherfucker. Fuck Tucker Carlson, scrotum face ass. I know he's rolling around in his pile of money, but bitch, you had to endure a little bit of humiliation on your way out of Fox's news headquarters there in Manhattan. I hope they packed your box waiting for you. I hope they had security walk your scrotum face ass out the front door. I hope he endured as much humiliation as anybody else who has had to suffer through a firing, a termination when they certainly were not expecting him. So fuck you, Tucker Carlson, you little bitch. Sorry.